Okay, here's another video. I apologize for two reasons. One, this is not vintage. And two, I tried really hard today to go get some running footage of this crawler and another crawler that I've put together. I have a total of 3 that I've made, and I'm going to show all 3 of them right now. My plan was to go get some running footage of these things, come back, do a little review of what I've done, and then add the running footage to the end of the video. But I don't have any running footage, so I'm sorry. As soon as I can get this camera to stop shutting itself off while I'm filming, I may be able to get some running footage, because not only is it shutting itself down, but it's not retaining any of what it recorded before it shuts itself off. So anyhow, to start off, this is the first rock crawler that I did out of my collection of 3. Fairly decent articulation, as you can see. This is actually just a toy grade made by a company called Maisto Tech. I bought the truck itself, which actually had this little body on it and was really short. I lengthened it, and I'll show that in a minute. But I went into a charity shop and I found this one for $3.99, and I don't know why, but they had another one, and it was only marked $1.99. So I took both of them. So for $6, I had 2 platforms to start with. I got home and started looking at some stuff, and the truck itself is not vintage. However, this body, and I believe it is made by Parma. It's either Parma or Bolink. But this body is from a friend of my dad's who was getting rid of some of his RC stuff. And I said in an earlier video that I have the Royal Crusher, and he also has a Royal Crusher. This body came from the same guy. I don't think he ever had it mounted on anything, because it has no holes drilled in it. It is on the Velcro now, and I put the Velcro on there. It really doesn't look like it was ever run. But I had noticed when I got the first Maisto crawler home that when I set the wheelbase over the body over the wheelbase, it was the right width to be 1/10 scale looking, kind of. It was just way too short. So basically, around this body, I made this truck. I got it out all the electronics, which were horrible. They were not proportional, meaning it was all right, all left, all forward, all reverse. No finesse at all. I have upgraded it all to hobby grade, and you can do this super cheap. Like I said, I bought this particular truck for $4. The front steering servo, I ordered off of eBay, literally for 99 cents shipped. For another, I want to say it was like 4 and change, less than $5. I got this electronic speed control, which I'm told, and I've done a little research on it, it can handle up to 3S LiPo, which is 10 point something volts. I think it's even more than that, 11 something when it's fully charged. I don't run it on that. I do run on this little 9.6 volt lithium ion pack, lightweight, 9.6 volts still though. So, you know, $4 for the speed control, $6 for the truck, or not, $4 for the truck, $4 for the speed control, $1 for that. We're still under $10. Really, all that I'm missing at that point is a receiver and a transmitter. You can get these things pretty cheap now. 2.4 gigahertz receiver. It's a 3-channel receiver. Came with a 2-channel remote, but it does what I need to do for this for this application. In this setup, I want to say that receiver and this remote came in at like, I don't know, maybe $22 or something like that. Basically, I've got about $30 into this whole build. It didn't come with a controller, so I couldn't even try the thing to see if it even worked, but I didn't care because I knew I didn't want it like that anyway. I didn't want it all or nothing forward, all or nothing steering. I wanted some proportional features here. And I think the truck itself, brand new, is like $40. So for $10 less, I did this, and it's way better. So a couple of things you can see that I did. One, the servo. I gutted out all their crappy gears and their dumb stuff, and I mounted this servo in there, and I just used a regular little servo horn, and this is actually just a piece of paper clip that I ran over to the linkage and hooked up to the steering. I left both stock motors, and I have found that they have motors with a lot more turns, which will give you more torque, and I do plan on replacing the motors at some point. Right now I'm playing with voltage with different batteries to see if I can find where I like anyway. But like I said, it was all or nothing, and now it is fully proportional. So that means if I just turn a little bit, it turns a little bit. If I turn all the way, it turns all the way. Same with throttle. I can just a little bit. It all depends on how much throttle I give it. The other controllers that it came with is something similar to this new Bright thing. I do believe it was a pistol grip shape like this, but shape really doesn't matter. And what this thing does is forward, backwards, right, left. That's it. No finesse, no in-betweens, no good. Proportional is what you need if you're going to be rock crawling. So I knew I was going to do that right off the bat. So what I did was the length was really short. So I cut the chassis, took it all apart. I cut the chassis down the middle. And there's supposed to be a battery tray on the bottom, which I have retained in one of the other ones, so I can show you when we get to that truck. But I just took a piece of plate of plastic from another toy truck. I just cut out a blank piece of plastic, made the fill that I needed there. Something on the sides of the truck where it came up, I cut out these pieces here, and I made it fill in this wall. This seam here and this seam here were that was the length. This is how much I added lengthwise. And then I added these things, which is it's not a Erector set, but it's very similar kind of pieces, a cheaper knockoff version. I didn't want to spend good money on good Erector stuff because I knew I was only using it for hobby stuff to make brackets and whatever. And I found this stuff on a clearance rack at, I don't know, Job Lot or Big Lots or one of those places, really cheap. And I got a whole box of this junk just to make mounts or brackets or whatever I need to do. So this one came out really good. I'm really happy. It turns real well. It crawls nice. And by accident, I don't know why it does it, but for some reason when you run these two motors off of this kind of speed control, whichever one has more strain, it doesn't shut off, but it cuts out some of the power, and the majority of the power will go to the less strain. So if you're climbing uphill, these wheels have more strain on it. That allows these wheels to have more power, so you have more pulling power uphill. And at first I thought it was only the front motor was getting more power until I started climbing things in reverse. And then I noticed once these wheels had the strain, this had all the power. So for some reason, magically, this thing knows what it should do somehow, and it puts the power to the right places at the right times. It is a separate motor in the front and a separate motor in the rear, making it four-wheel drive. And it looks really cool when it's going along. It's fairly scale. If I wasn't running an older Lexan body like this, it would look a lot more scale. But with with the body in full articulation, it actually looks pretty good when it's out there on the trails and on the hills and on the rocks. The listing, it was stuck. Like I said, it had this little body on it. It wasn't as long, so it listed real bad. You'd come out of a corner and it would stay just like that. Now if I were to hit the throttle and start taking off straight, it will correct itself and come back up right. And the simple fix, for me anyway, the simple fix to that was I tried upgrading the shocks. The way they're mounted is on these, there's a ball in each end inside of here, and I really couldn't get any other decent shock to mount in here. I did try changing the springs over. That was easier said than done. So in the end, my solution was to just stick a zip tie at the top of the shock body, put a little more tension on this friction spring, and it does a little better now. So that's the first one. Make sure this thing's off before I set it down on the floor. Oh, that's on. Sorry. So that was the first one. I bought 2 of these things from the same thrift store, and they had a few other cars, trucks, buggies that ran off of stuff like this little new bright battery. This is the 6.4 volt one. It's not very powerful, but they had one car that had all of the controller, the battery pack, the charger, and everything that was supposed to be with it. And I turned that into this one. This entire truck, I bought the first one for $4. I bought this one for $1.99. I bought the truck that had this body and also came with not the control setup, but the battery. This 9.6 volt battery was still in the base of the truck. I bought this one for $2.99. I got some great tires and rims off of this truck, this battery, and this body for $3. And then for another $3.99, so it was $4, I bought a buggy that had this radio set up in it out of a new bright buggy, and it really is only the 6.4 volt battery thing. The only real difference between these packs was this bump is in a different place, so I just filed that one off, and the 9.6 volt now fit in there that came out of that truck. And this controller and that talk to each other. It will work with this battery, but it doesn't have as much power, and I like the 9.6. It's just about enough. So I got $2 for this truck, $3 for this truck, $4 for the buggy that gave me the radio system and this battery and the charger, which charges both of these batteries. So I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at $9. This truck cost me $9. It's not proportional like the last one. Its steering is all or nothing. Its throttle is all or nothing. But this truck was $9. I mean, it works for $9. If you got a little bit of know-how or you're a little crafty, I mean, you can do this. This truck is, ordering it online is the cheapest way you'll find it, and it's about $35. But you can go into the store. I believe Kmart and Toys R Us, and I think Walmart had them at one time. I haven't seen them there for a while, but they're anywhere from $40 to $50, and they run off of 6 AAA batteries, which is only 9 volts. and they're only AAA. I mean, not AAA, excuse me, AA batteries. So it's 1.5 volts per battery times 6 is 9 volts, and this is 9.6, and the 9 volts you're talking about, alkaline batteries. This is lithium ion. A lot of people don't know a whole lot about batteries, so really the short of it is this has more punch. It's not more voltage. It's got a faster discharge rating, meaning it gives more of that full power punch. So you get a lot more out of these style batteries. Not to mention the fact alkaline batteries are not rechargeable. You're going to spend $1 million on batteries over and over and over and over again. You can buy rechargeable batteries, but a regular alkaline battery is 1.5 volts. Any rechargeable battery you get, you can look right on them.